Hello everybody, it's the 17th of June today, and we're looking at, believe it or not, a 5 tree group planting of Zelkova, which I've kind of neglected this spring so far. So it's shot out all over the place and is doing its best impression of a large bush as opposed to a group of trees. So we're going to have to try and rein it back in again, and this group is quite a recent construction in terms of I put 5 trees that I've grown from seed together. I'm really not sure now whether it was last year or the year before, without digging out the video and logging into YouTube and seeing what I did when. My memory can be appalling at times, but it certainly hasn't been in here longer than about 2 years. So I just start chopping away, trying to reveal the trees underneath. I'm just going to start at the top just to bring the height down, but then I think I'm going to try and work from the base as well in a minute, because you can see where the tree that's at the back wasn't getting quite as much light, despite my building new benches and my promise to myself that I was gonna give each tree more room on the bench. Hasn't entirely come to fruition. I am being good. I'm not going to try and root any of these. They're all going in the compost, because I have, and I hate to say this, too many trees. Well, I haven't. I'm lying, of course. I don't believe that for a minute that I have too many trees. I have too many of some species of trees, and so I am stopping to take cuttings from trees I've already got, and I'm also only going to buy any starter trees or anything if they're a sufficiently interesting species that I haven't already got. Bit late for a New Year's resolution in June, but there you go, there you have it. Okay, so I don't need to do too much at the back here, because you can see a couple of the trunks. This one, however, you can't see the wood for the tree, or the tree for the wood. There must be a trunk in there somewhere. Okay, so that's slightly better. This is what happens if you allow a tree to get too overcrowded. And then you start to get these long, thin, whippy bits that aren't adding to the composition in any way. I don't want that piece particularly. Okay, so back to the front, and we have pieces growing from very low down on the trunks and basically obscuring the trunks, which I don't want to happen. Pieces growing out at the front, again obscuring the trunks, which I don't want to happen. I think what I'm going to be doing here is some remedial work, and this tree is going to require quite a bit of structural work, structural pruning in the winter when it's bare. But that's okay, something to look forward to doing in the winter. Okay, so that's a bit better. Now we can see those trunks at the front a little more clearly. Where these long growths are growing across from one to the other, we can pull those out, chop them off. Start again. That's better. Already it's beginning to look more like a grove of trees than one giant homogeneous bush, shrub. These long pieces that are growing straight across from one tree through the next one don't make for a convincing bonsai, of course. And as I've said in other videos, bonsai is as much about illusion as anything else. You know, you're trying to create the illusion of an old tree, or in this case an old group of trees. I know it looks to a certain extent like I'm just hacking, but there is some method in my madness, and I am kind of thinking about what I'm chopping and what I'm not, trying to pull out these centerpieces. Crossing pieces and these extra vigorous pieces that just have no place. As they say, these straight pieces, they're not convincing anybody. Okay, so that's a bit better. Take that off, expose that trunk a bit more. There's a bit there. That's better. That's much better. Now you can actually see. If you look through, you can see the 5 trunks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, it's got a long way to go to look like 5 trees, but it looks more like 5 trees than it did 10 minutes ago. Remove that branch, it's too low on the trunk. Okay, so there we have it. It's going to have to go back on the bench, gives it some time to recover, but let's set it up for the rest of this spring. I'm going to put it back on the bench with this side facing out. It doesn't really have a front to this tree, or these trees. It could be this one. minus that bit. Could be this one, or it could be this one. I think this one is my favourite, but again, I do like to have trees that I can view from both sides if I wish to. Take that piece off. There we have it. Okay, I think that's all for today, and we'll come back and visit this at some point in the future. We certainly did chop a lot off this one. Don't let your trees get out of hand, eh? Thank you so much for watching. Please do take care of yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.